In 4.3, we're talking about intercepts. So the two types of intercepts that we have are the x-intercept, which is sometimes called the horizontal intercept, and the y-intercept, which is sometimes called the vertical intercept. The x-intercept is going to be on the x-axis. It's where y equals 0, and it's always going to be in the form x comma 0. The number for x will be whatever you see there, and it's always going to have a 0 for the y. For the y-intercept, that is where x equals 0 and it touches the y-axis. So whatever the y is, that's going to be your number there, and you're always going to have a 0 for the x term. So some of the questions that you're going to have, a lot of them are going to be just like we did before, but they're going to say to find the intercepts. So when y equals 0, you put a y in to the equation and you find what x is. Then for the x-intercept, you're going to put 0 in for x and find what y is, solve for y. Those are going to be your two answers. And then when you plot it, you're just going to use those 2 points on the line. So you'll have a few of those. Here's some that you're given a line and you just have to put the x-intercept and y-intercept. So here, the x-intercept is 12, y-intercept negative 12. They already put the zeros in for you. Same with this one. Now this next one is they're going to give you the graph and you have to put in the intercept. So note that I already did these. I put them as ordered pairs. So this one, it only has the one intercept. It's touching the x-axis at 0 and the y-axis at 0. So both of those are 0, 0. This next one, the vertical intercept is up here at positive 2. So I put 0, 2. The horizontal intercept, which is the x one, is at x equals negative 4. So I put negative 4, 0. Okay, so here's one that's a little bit different. It's a horizontal line like we did in the last section, and it's at, notice that this tick mark is at 100, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tick marks in between 0 and 100. So divide 100 by 5 and we get 20. So our vertical intercept is at 0, 20. But note here, it says if an intercept does not exist, type D or write DNE. So that's what we did, because there is no horizontal intercept. It does not exist. And then on this one, our vertical intercept is up at 50, and our horizontal is back at negative 50. All right, so here's another one where we don't have a horizontal intercept, but our vertical one is at negative 5. So I put 0, negative 5, and for the horizontal, I put DNE, or does not exist. Then you're going to have some like this, where it says find the intercepts of negative x plus 3y equals negative 3. So what we have to do for the x-intercept, remember, that's where y equals 0. So if we put in a 0 for y, what we're going to be left with is negative x equals negative 3. When we solve for x, we're going to get 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 1 is just 3. And so we have to put in parentheses 3, 0. Now for the y-intercept, we put a 0 in for x. So I'm going to go ahead and write that, 0, comma. And when we do that, we're going to have 3y equals negative 3. Divide both sides by 3, and we're going to get a negative 1. So our points are 3, 0, and 0, negative 1. When I want to draw that, I'm going to go 3, 0, and then 0, negative 1. Those are my 2 points. and hit submit, and we got all of that correct. Okay, so you'll have a few of those. Now here's one that's a little bit different. We have y equals negative 4x. So to find our intercept, let's put a 0 in for x. 0 times negative 4 is 0. And so we see that we're going to have just 0, 0 and 0, 0 for both of our intercepts. We will have some like this. Now to graph that, this is one where it's going to be a little bit different. You do have to do the intercept as one of your points. For your second point, put a 1 in for x to solve for y. So first off, I know that my intercept is at 0, 0. But then if I put a 1 for x, you can put any number, just do one that's easy. And I think 1 is easy to multiply anything by. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. So that means if x is 1, I come down to a negative 4 for the other point. So 1, negative 4, hit submit, and that's correct. Okay, and those are all the same. These are the same. So this one says a company buys a new bulldozer for $101,800. The company depreciates the bulldozer linearly for over its useful life of 20 years. Its salvage value at the end of 20 years is $11,800. Depreciation is the decrease or loss in value of the equipment due to age, wear, or market conditions. Express the value of bulldozer V in terms of how old it is, T. Okay, so V is our Y, T is our X. So that means when it's new, X is 0, and Y, which is the value, is 101,800. Then it says that at T equals 20, Y, or the value is 11,800. So our second point is 20, 11800. So to solve this, what we're going to do, first off, we know that those are our 2 points, 0, 101,800 and 20, 11800. So to solve this, what we need to do is subtract 101,800 minus 11,800. And then we're going to divide that by 20. So when we do this, we're going to get 101,800 minus 11,800, and that's going to equal 90,000. Then we divide that by 20. Divided by 20. And that's going to equal 4,500. So notice that it's going down every year. And it's going down 4,500 every year. So our rate of change is a negative 4,500. So on this, we're going to put negative 4,500. And remember, it says instead of an X, we're going to put a T, because that's what it says to put. So T, and then our 0, our start is at 101,800. So we're going to put plus 101,800. And so here's what we have, negative 4,500 T plus 101,800. And then the next part of the question is the value of the bulldozer at 18 years. So what we need to do is find out what V will be when T equals 18. So we're going to multiply the 4,500, the negative 4,500 times 18, and then we're going to add the 101,800, and we're going to get 20,800. And that will be what the answer is after 18 years. Okay, so we got those right. that's how you're going to do those. This one, it says that Diana is driving from Las Vegas to Phoenix, a distance of 300 miles. The x-axis on the graph shows the time in hours since Diana left Las Vegas. The y-axis represents the distance she has left to drive. So at 0 time, she has 300 miles left to go, and at 4 hours, she has 0 hours miles left to go. So we're just going to put our intercepts. Our x-intercept is 4. Our y-intercept is 300. Now note what that said. The x-intercept is, and that's how long it took to drive. It took 4 hours to get from 300 to 0. The y-intercept is how far she has to go from the beginning to the end. So that's going to be in the miles, and those are multiple choice questions.